He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No, high expectations.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
Fuck.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches.
What is going on, folks? Welcome back to another Sunday night recap between this time the Cowboys and the Vikings. Cowboys taking up an L and virtually eliminating themselves from playoff contention. 26 was their score. Vikings score was 34. That was a long-winded way of me saying I'm your co-host, Jaylen Brown.
Well, damn it. Rolling downhill like a snowball. We were all confused.
How's everybody doing?
Oh, damn.
You're saying.
I apologize. I
All righty.
changed up I threw a fastball at you guys. But anyway, Cowboys take an L on Sunday Night Football to the Vikings, which some of us saw coming. Someone's claiming that. The rest of us did not see coming. And at this point, they're pretty much out of the playoff picture. Let's just kind of get right into this. Dak Prescott here. What is this? 23 of 38, 294 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, sacked twice. Dak was trying to do his Dak thing here. And June, I want to go to you first here, good sir. We want some answers. What was up with the Cowboys defense, I think, was the bigger issue here, but what did you think of Dak Prescott tonight?
Well, I think Dak was. I think what happened was when Javonte Williams went out the game, and then not only that, then Hunter Lepke went out the game too with a concussion, and then they lost Tyler Guyton for a while. Because I'm talking about all the first half kind of went like I was going. The game was going to be very close. I expected the Cowboys to open it up in the second half, but once Javonte Williams was out, he did eventually come back in, and then when Hunter Lepke went out, I think that really slowed the offense to where Dak was just getting. If you go back and you watch it, Dak was just getting. He only had like a second to throw because they were coming in, and Flores is good at that. Flores is good at exploiting weaknesses. Now he hasn't had the team to really do that this year, where he could. You've seen his defenses play better, but tonight and last week too, he felt more comfortable in letting his defense just go out there and react. So Dak didn't have the time that he usually does to get the ball to those two receivers. CD had a lot of catches. CD had a big night, but he didn't get the ball to Jake Ferguson like he usually does, and he didn't get the ball to Pickens as much as he usually does. I mean, Flournoy was doing good, but those guys don't move the chains. Flournoy, Cavante Turpin, those guys don't move the chains like CD and George Pickens and Ferguson, and that's where the Cowboys' offense was off tonight. Again, when Tyler Guyton goes out, Javonte Williams goes out, so there go your running game. Because we really only have one running back. There's only one running back, and you saw, and then that also stopped the blocking. Javonte Williams is a great blocker, and they was highlighting that throughout the game. They talked about missing that blocking because Malik Davis a couple of times just got ran over by the linebackers a couple of times, like it was 2 or 3 times, and Dak had to end up throwing the ball early, and so that really hurt him. I mean, I knew the defense was a piece of shit. Come on, we all knew that. That wasn't even I wouldn't even worry about the defense. But the simple fact of the matter, once we couldn't get our offense going and we couldn't get it rolling like it usually does, it was going to be hard to keep up. Well, our defense just kept giving up touchdowns, giving up yards, and that made them press a little bit. Luckily, we didn't have any turnovers, and we just stayed in the game. But at the end, we had to score touchdowns to really keep up. And that's been the story of this season. It was about scoring touchdowns with the offense. this entire season, and it reared its ugly head the last 2 weeks. So,
But I don't know, man. I guess you could say, Jalen, that when you only target your number one receiver 6 times in Pickens, you're probably going to lose that game. You got to target Pickens a little bit more. That just makes sense. And you know what? When your kicker is named after a lady and he misses 2 kicks the first time all year against the Vikings, you're probably going to catch an L.
what? His name is Brandon Aubrey.
Yeah, Aubrey. That's a girl's name.
Aubrey's a boy's name.
Got your goddamn mind, June. That would be a Cowboys fan thinking Aubrey, the boy's name. That's wild.
Aubrey is usually a dude's name.
Aubrey. Thank you.
Aubrey is not a boy's
name. All right.
You're out of your mind.
On the other side of this, though, we did have J.J. McCarthy, who I thought in the second half he came out dealing. He was, I mean, it was tale of two halves for him. He was making some pretty nice throws. He was on the run throwing the ball. He was throwing across his body. He was, I mean, finding just different pockets to fit the ball into. And I was like, okay, J.J. McCarthy looking a lot better, working pretty much every part of the field. G Money, what did you think of J.J. McCarthy here?
Yeah, for his 8th start, he's played fairly well. I mean, they've designed plays for that work well. You know, when they got down on the 3-yard line and they did the whole fake to the running back and rolled him out and ran him in, that was good. And you saw some nice throws from him. He still has a wonky throwing style, which I'm sure when they have the opportunity to work on, they'll correct that. That'll be corrected by next season. But, you know, last game and this game, you see why they drafted him where they did. It's just too bad that he missed all of last season. But to see him and make the plays he did, now understand that Dallas was missing Quentin Williams, who, you know, everybody thought that was just a throw-in on the Micah Parsons trade, but he's been like a stalwart on the D-line as far as stopping the run and actually getting pressure on the quarterback and helping the D ends and the other D tackle get to the quarterback. So he had time to throw, and they actually and they designed plays for him. Too many times you see a young quarterback and the head coach and the offensive coordinator want them to throw from the pocket. That's how we want you to do. But they designed plays to roll him out, roll him away from pressure, and give him that opportunity to hit the open wide receiver, which he did for the most part. I expect him to grow. I expect, if he stays healthy the rest of this season, which is a question because, like I said, this is his 7th game. We're at game 15, and this is only his 7th game. I expect him to get better. I expect him to improve on what he's done, and for the coaching staff to adjust their play calling to what he does best. And you could see some of that in the second half, where they were adjusting their play calling to what he could do. Get him away, move him away from pressure, have him hit the open receivers, whether that be Addison, Jefferson, Hutchinson. They're open, hit them. Don't look for the big play. Look for the open receiver and hit him. Don't think. So, and that part, yeah, I was impressed because, you know, I'd seen him at Michigan, and quite frankly, anybody that's watched him at Michigan or watched Michigan that season, you know, you didn't see a lot from him. They did a lot of running. They did a lot of short passes. You never saw him have to do what he's doing in the pros, and definitely not doing what he had to do tonight.
On this next one, man, I'll go to you here. And you mentioned it a second ago, but the kicking, not very good for Dallas here. Had he made those 2 kicks, do you think that the final outcome of this game would have been any different?
I'm glad you brought that up because I Googled the name Aubrey, and it is
Oh
gender
my
neutral.
gosh.
And historically was male, but now very popular as a female name, especially in the U.S. Though it is still used for boys, it is much more common for a girl's name now. So I Googled it.
Okay.
There you go. Now,
That's a long way to say that we were right.
so no, it means that I was
Yeah.
right. It's more commonly a girl name now. But if you want your kicker to be known as an elf ruler, then that's cool, because that's the definition of it. I mean, he kicked like an elf tonight. That's for sure, man. I mean, he was on fire like the whole season. He's been like automatic. Um, I don't. It didn't look like he necessarily like had the yips when he was kicking the ball, but something wasn't right. Like it just seemed like something kind of had him spooked a little bit. Even I think there was like a 57 yarder at some point in the beginning of the fourth quarter, I think it was, and like he normally doesn't pull the ball the way he does.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is one of those things. Like, is this going to be something of kind of a thing to come with this guy, or is he going to correct it? Like, you go not missing all year, and then you miss 2, and you end up losing a game basically because of it. Because I think the outcome could like both teams were playing differently
Mhm.
because of what the score was at the time.
Yeah.
Vikings were playing a lot more loose. The playbook was more open. They're playing with a lot more confidence. JJ McCarthy had a lot more confidence, running down there in that last drive where they kicked that field goal, because they knew they had that 8 point cushion or whatnot. If they had 6 more points and it was only a 2 point game, maybe the pressure would have been on number 9 a little bit more. Like you don't know how a 2 point game would affect a rookie different than an 8 point game.
Mhm.
Um, the but yeah, I think it did make a big difference down the stretch in the fourth quarter. I mean, you were only down 8, and if he'd have made those 2 kicks, you're down 2, and you're forcing the Vikings to go to a field goal. And even if they get that, it's only a 5 point game. You still got a chance to win it. So it definitely was a factor. You hate for kickers to be a factor in a game, but you know what? When my Seahawks win
Yeah.
because of 6 field goals, I'm fine with it. So our kicker is better than the Cowboys. That's how it is.
Said no one ever.
Hey, our kicker was 6 today, June.
Okay. Okay.
Kicked a
The
57
Just
yarder.
you still think Aubrey is a girl name, so
It is. I literally just told you the girl's name.
I mean, I think that the Cowboys got too. They got too complacent with Aubrey making kicks from 60 plus yards. So when he missed that 57 yarder, I mean, if it had been another team where their kicker is good from like maybe his best is 57, they might have either punted the ball or gone for it on fourth down. They wouldn't have rolled him out there. But Dallas got so complacent with Aubrey hitting freaking everything from anywhere. I mean, there was just that assumption that he was going to make it. And when you miss it, all of a sudden you're giving Minnesota a short field. And we in Seattle know what that's all about after today, giving a team a short field and giving them that opportunity to score. Hindsight is always 2020. And maybe at that point, Dallas should have punted the ball and relied on their defense. But like I said, Audrey's been hitting them. what's his longest? Is it 67? I mean, so if you're consistent 50 yards plus, you just assume they can do it, even though that's not necessarily the fact. And tonight, tonight was a bad night for Dallas. I mean, like as June said previously, they were missing their starting left tackle. Then their second string left tackle went down. They were missing their starting deep defensive tackle. It hurts when you're not solid across the line, both defensively and offensively, and have people that can pick up it in case someone else goes down. And you saw that. You saw that in the third quarter and the fourth quarter on the offensive side with the rush coming in from the left tackle. And let's not kid ourselves, man. Minnesota blitzes a whole hell of a lot, and they disguise their blitzes. They do different blitzes, and it's painful for Dallas fans. I know, because this was a game you expected to win, and you probably should have won, and it does put you. It hasn't punched the card on. You're not out of the playoffs, but realistically, you're out of the playoffs. And you're looking at the draft.
That's true. The Cowboys are at the point now because they got to rely on. They still had a puncher's chance if they won tonight, but right now you have to rely on too many people to just lose out, because the most wins they can have at this point is now 9. Well, the lowest wins you're going to have going into the playoffs is going to be 10. And if all 3 of the teams that's sitting in the wild card spot right now, if they all win tonight or win next week, then the Cowboys are eliminated anyway, and this is all a moot point. So I think that for the Cowboys, I think it's one of those things. It's just a lesson learned that Shoddy played too conservative tonight. He coached too conservative tonight. For me, I'm with G Money. I probably would have went for it because you got the receivers to go for it in that. You're across the 50.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd rather go down punching than go down kicking. Did that make sense? You know what I mean? So that's what I would have done. I would have went for it. And I would have said, we got these 2 receivers, we got Jake Ferguson. Let's exploit that. Minnesota is 5-8, so they're not a very good team. Let's put the pressure on the DBs to stop us. And if we get the ball off, they're going to either catch the ball or it's going to be a pass interference. And that's the way he should have played it. He got caught flat-footed tonight, playing too conservative, and the Minnesota Vikings took advantage of it. And they took advantage of those short fields. You either got to punt the ball in that situation, or you got to go for it. You don't leave the game to chance. You don't leave it to kicking, because it never works out in your favor, especially when you're still trying to fight for a playoff spot, to leave the game to kicking at this moment, okay? Because you're putting too much pressure on people to have to go ahead and make 51. If it's a 30-yard kick, that's different. You go up there and kick the 30-yard kick. But when you start talking about 50-plus yard kicks, now you're starting to put a lot of pressure on people. And that's on coaching. And that's something that Shoddy is going to have to learn, unfortunately, next year. Because it's too late to learn that this year because the season's over. So he's going to have to learn that in the offseason. He's going to have to go through all these films that they lost the close games to and see what he could have did different in those games. And I guarantee you, it's going to come down to 1 or 2 decisions that he made coaching.
I will say this, Jalen, that the name Aubrey has been in the top 100 for girls' names since the year 2000. In fact, in 2010, it was a top 10 name, and it was in the last 25 years, it was the top 250
We're not going
name.
to do this all night. We can't do this all
Heck
night.
yeah. I got stats for you, buddy. But he wasn't playing like he was going for points. I think he was going with a kicker that normally makes those. Like, I don't think he was being conservative in that point. He was like, well, this guy normally makes it. And if the Seahawks didn't put their game in a kicker's hands, then they wouldn't have won today. So sometimes it's just That's just the boat you're rowing in.
I know, but mainly, y'all kicker was kicking 30, 40-yard kicks, and we was trying to kick 57 and 51 and 55-yard kicks.
Yeah,
we was
Matt
relying on that too much. You know what I'm saying?
He kicked a 57-yarder to win it.
No. Trust me, I saw it. Yeah.
He kicked a 52-yarder to take the lead. Before that, he was kicking 50-yard field goals. And Aubrey, a girl's name, normally is making those 57-yarders.
His name is Brandon. His name is Brandon Aubrey. It's not Aubrey Brandon. His first name is Brandon. What are you doing? That's his last name.
It's Aubrey. Right. What's on the back of the shirt? What's on the back of the shirt? What's on the back of the shirt? That's all I'm saying. This is.
I can't deal with him tonight. I cannot deal with him tonight.
On the Vikings.
Go ahead, Jalen.
Obviously, you know, they knew coming into this game that the season was over. And it seems like the rest of the season is more of just a trial or like a practice for J.J. McCarthy to see what they've got. What do you guys think that the Vikings need to see from him in these last few games in order to be like, okay, yep, this is our guy going into 2026? This is like, even if, let's just say the Vikings win out, which I didn't look at their schedule, so I don't know if that's realistic or not, but like numbers wise, does he need to have games similar to tonight where he had over 100 passing rating? Or, you know, can he be a little bit more pedestrian, or is this kind of like, you know, if you're making the decisions, you want to see this almost every game?
Let me say this, Jalen, is that they were willing to roll off of Sam Darnold's career year last year when McCarthy hadn't even played a snap in the regular season. And I think that they'll be just as bullish to. Now, I think that they'll do a better job of having maybe a more seasoned veteran backup. They really left themselves with nothing when they let Daniel Jones go along with Sam Darnold, and they didn't. There's no one. There was no one in the quarterback room that challenged McCarthy. I think they'll with him to be the starter next year. I think he'll be QB1 going into camp, all that stuff. But it wouldn't surprise me if they get a better backup situation, a veteran that if he gets hurt because he does play a little reckless, got a better chance of winning a game. There was no reason in the NFL that an NFL team was rolling out someone like Brosmer against Seattle a few weeks ago. Like, that's the state. Your QB room, like, that's just gross negligence at the NFL level. So they'll probably get themselves a veteran backup, and maybe not someone to challenge him, but you know, kind of be back there like, listen, man, like fuck around, and we got somebody that can win us some games.
Yeah.
If we need to sit him down a little bit, but that's what I think they'll do. Because if you were going to let go of Sam last year for him, and he didn't even throw a pass, then after this year, I think they roll it back for him.
Hey, man, got to bring in famous Jameis. Bring Jameis in, you know what I'm saying? Jameis is a competent backup, you know what I mean? He's competent. He's a veteran. He's a super nice guy in the locker room. So why not bring the guy in? But Jalen, you brought up a point about what do you got to see? And I think what they got to see is they got to see that consistency. And I can tell you what, Justin Jefferson is probably the most patient big time wide receiver in the NFL, because basically the guy this year he was just another guy in the NFL because he didn't have anybody to consistently get the ball to him. So I think that's what they're going to look for. I think they're going to look for him to really get on what's the word I'm looking for? They're going to look for him to get on target with just the wrong word, but in sync with Justin. Thank you. They get synced with Justin Jefferson so they can go into next year with this mind space that, hey, we're going to be here together. Okay. Right now, you got the Giants coming up next, and then you have the Lions, and then you have the Packers. for this team. So I think that's something that they need to see from McCarthy moving forward.
Galen, it would not surprise me if you hear Jefferson's patience run out. He's talking about wanting to trade at the end of this year. I mean, even in a win, McCarthy has his best game as a pro. He had what, 2 catches for 22 yards? Like
there was
he's
a
a
few drops he
generational
had, I
wide.
will say.
There was, but there was like we can all agree he's like a generational wideout, right? He's one of those like uber talented wide receivers in the league. He hasn't been a diva up till now. He hasn't been making a whole lot of controversy. But if this is what it's going to be with McCarthy, man, this is the type of shit that can end up keeping you out of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
If you have to endure like 2-3 seasons of mediocre quarterback play like that out of a rookie quarterback, getting better from year 2 to 3. Like, but you know what I mean, though. Like he has the talent to be a Hall of Famer, but he's got to put up the numbers. And if he doesn't put up the numbers, that wide receiver numbers are already so inflated that he can't afford like 2 or 3 years of like mediocre ball while a quarterback figures it out. So I mean, I don't know, man. It might get interesting with Justin Jefferson.
I also think I agree 1,000% with you, and I think it comes down to that is, can they at least start to develop a foundation of a relationship within these last few weeks here, so they have something to go off of come next year? Because Jefferson, I mean, he's the face of your franchise, and I think he's one of the faces of the NFL right now. So you need them to like have something going, because as long as that's there, then it's like, okay, you will be at least a mediocre passer at the very least going forward if you can get the ball to him consistently, because he's just that good. But if anybody else has anything else to mention, throw it in now.
It does come down to consistency with J.J. McCarthy, and that's what you want to see. Next 3 games, you want to see him be consistent, hit probably at least 55% of his passes. You want to see no turnovers. You want to see smart decisions being made, because this is your quarterback. This is your quarterback going to the next. Because you're not going to finish low enough to draft someone, and you're sure as hell probably not going to trade up to draft someone. So this is the guy you drafted a year ago, sat out all of last year because he was injured, missed, 6 games this year because of injury. So you want to see that he's consistent. You don't want to see him have a game where he's 10 for 35, 120 yards, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. You don't want to see that. You would much rather see him where he's 15 for 22, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. You would accept 1 interception because those happen. You know, whether it's a tip ball or someone cuts under something, you didn't see him. But if you get a game or a couple of games out of these last 3 where you're 10 for 30, 110 yards, 3-4 interceptions, no. Then you start looking at, okay, we don't need a veteran quarterback as a backup. We need a veteran quarterback to start, because not only do you have Jefferson, you have Addison and Hutchinson. You don't want to waste those 2. You have a number 1, a true number 1, a true number 2, and basically a number 1 tight end. You don't want to waste those, because the window in the NFL, the window closes really fast. So if in the next 3 games you can't, it doesn't look like JJ is going to be, you need to move on. Probably what Arizona needed to do a couple of years ago with Kyler Murray. But in this day and age, you can't waste 2 or 3 years, because then your wide receivers start demanding trades. They don't want to play. And then what do you got? You got nothing. So they need to see consistency and improvement on JJ next 3 games. Next 3 games will make a determination whether next season he is the starting quarterback or he is a backup to a veteran.
True. All right. Tomorrow night we'll be back on for the Monday night recap between the Dolphins and the Steelers, which hopefully that is a drama-filled game. I feel like it's got potential to have some drama in that one, especially seeing that the low is 11 degrees tomorrow in Pittsburgh.
You gotta love it. Gotta love it.
That's right up Miami's alley. So that'll be interesting. So tomorrow we'll be back around the same time to break down what goes on there. So yeah, that's it, folks. Make sure to follow us on social media at AFR Sports on TikTok and Instagram. Be sure to follow June. His link is down in the description for his TikTok. Off season starting soon for the Cowboys, so be sure to join him there on TikTok. So yeah, we will see you all tomorrow night. Have a good Monday, and peace out.